In today's video, we'll look into space tech that's helping us tackle deforestation. The space race has been going on for 7 decades now. First, it was countries fighting for the spot. Now, it's between private companies. Regardless of who's battling who, we can't deny the fact that the pursuit of space dominance has helped us down here quite a bit. So make sure to stay until the end of the video to learn about it. First up, space tech is helping to tackle deforestation. Dear viewer, here's the thing about us humans. We're great at taking things for granted. For example, many folks in the US aren't too happy with NASA's budget of $23 billion. For context, the US military budget in 2021 was $800 billion. So NASA's budget is just pocket change for the government. But what people tend to miss out on is the sheer amount of tech that's trickled down from spaceships and satellites down to Earth. There are so many things we take for granted in our daily lives that wouldn't have been possible without the space race. An example of those things would be solar panels, artificial limbs, water filtration systems, weather-resistant airplanes, air purifiers, and countless other inventions. We mentioned a whole lot of stuff here, but the most interesting advancement we got from all this is sitting right there in our pockets. Without the exploration of the final frontier, we wouldn't have had satellites or digital cameras. So in other words, our phones would have just been iPods. Who wants that anymore? But there's a problem. As the world progressed, our emissions got higher and higher, and to make goods, we needed land and raw materials. So our forests got thinner and thinner. At this rate, humanity might not even survive to see the 22nd century. But once again, the tech from space comes to save the day. We're sure you've heard the word deforestation several times, especially in the past few years or so. Deforestation has been causing problems for us, such as high levels of carbon dioxide, which in turn is leading to global warming. But you can't really fix what you can't see. If you go to any existing forest, you'll think all is good, but it's not until you check it from outer space. You realize just how much damage has been done. So then, we need a way to contextualize the problem. That's where the tech we keep talking about helps us. For example, Framework for Ecosystem Monitoring, also known as FIRM, is a website that uses satellite imagery to highlight changes to forests around the world. Anyone can use their data, and for FIRM, a key data source is NASA and its Global Ecosystem Dynamics Investigation System. So there you have it, folks. Space tech is helping us again. So how does it all work? According to African conservationist Leonidas Nzigiyimpa, it's quite simple. You can't manage what you don't know, he says. So this tech works by helping us map deforestation, see trends, and look for more suitable land for plantation. He further stated that to improve the situation of forests, we need to use new technology. Nzigiyimpa has been working with local communities to protect and manage forests for the past 2 decades now. In carrying out his work, he needs to consider a huge range of factors, from tracking biodiversity and the impact of climate change to monitoring the impact of human actions and economies. To help him with all this, the conservationist used a free software called the Integrated Management Effectiveness Tool, which is also known as IMET. This software was developed specifically for environmental work. It was the work of a project called BioPAMA, which is supported by the EU, 79 members from the organizations of Africa, the Caribbean, and Pacific states. According to Mr. Nzigiyimpa, this tool is used to collect and analyze data so his team can make properly informed decisions. The reason why that's so important is that not only will this help the local communities, but also the global community as a whole. We've already introduced y'all to FIRM, but let's dig a little deeper into how it actually works. Maps and data are provided to the website by a US business called Planet. Planet operates more than 200 satellites equipped with a camera. These satellites take about 350 million photos of Earth daily. Each photo covers 1 square kilometer. Planet can also be hired by governments and organizations directly, because these cameras not only check deforestation, but they can also help us assess droughts, agriculture, energy production, and infrastructure projects. In fact, Planet is a key resource used in managing ports. An FAO forester officer, Remy de Annunzio, has even stated how useful these projects are. He also states how they're now able to get a full snapshot of the Earth every 4 to 5 days. So there you have it. This is how all this space tech is helping us tackle deforestation. But wait, is deforestation even that bad? And also, why haven't we seen an example of this tech in real life? Yep, folks, it's pretty bad. Firstly, deforestation not only doesn't help with global warming, it in fact accelerates it. Secondly, as of right now, we lose 25 million acres of forest every year. If you don't think that's a lot, then let us put things into context. 25 million acres is equivalent to not 1, not 2, but 78 Los Angeleses. That's why the current rate of deforestation is so alarming. And this thinning of the forest, in the name of progress, accounts for 20% of the world's carbon dioxide emissions. So while it's great that the world is buying more electric cars than ever, we still have a long way to go before we can ensure humanity's survival. But there's a silver lining. More and more people now are aware of the grim consequences of deforestation. So now we have real-life examples of people using this technology to ensure things don't get out of control. FIRM's real-time monitoring is not only to fight overexploitation once it happens. For example, Vietnam and Laos, they're trying to tackle illegal logging. So now rangers and community workers get a text alert when new deforestation is spotted. How cool is that? This way, not only can they cure it, but also prevent it before it happens. With that out of the way, folks, let's talk a little bit more about the environment in space. Firstly, Brazil needs to do more. Brazil is home to the mighty Amazon rainforest. You know, the one referred to as the lungs of the earth. Yep, that's how important it is, folks. Anyways, environmental criminals in Brazil are destroying public forests in the country. Well, that's okay, since every country has criminals, right? No. The problem is that the nation's federal police haven't been doing enough to prevent this ecological damage. Only 302 environmental crime raids were carried out between 2016 and 2021. That's just one raid a week. And only 2% of folks illegally seizing public lands were targeted. The government really needs to do more, not just for us, but for Brazilians as well, because half of their climate pollution comes from deforestation. The destruction has been so brutal that the eastern Amazon has stopped being a carbon sink. It's now converted into a carbon source. That's incredibly counterproductive. As of right now, there are 4 types of environmental crimes happening in the Amazon. Deforestation is linked to agriculture, illegal mining, theft of public land, and illegal logging. It's quite heartbreaking to see Amazon go through all of that. We truly hope the government gets a grip on things and can start enforcing laws. And hey, maybe they can use all the software we just talked about. Now, let's talk about Amazon again. No, not the one with all the plant species in the world. Let's talk about the Amazon with all the things in the world. Yep, you guessed it, Jeff Bezos' Amazon. The company's carbon emission rose 18% in 2021. This growth was driven by increasing demand because of the COVID pandemic. The Seattle-based tech giant emitted nearly 71.5 million metric tons of carbon dioxide last year. That's more than the entire country of Romania. How do they manage to do so much? Well, we don't know. We guess all those trucks and planes used to ship stuff really add up, huh? But they're trying to make amends. Amazon aims to become carbon neutral by 2040. That doesn't mean they won't pollute. That just means they'll offset their emissions using forests. And they also plan to power all of their operations with renewable energy by 2025. Let's just hope they mean it, folks. Lastly, an awkward moment up there at the ISS. Alright guys, the Russia-Ukraine war. It's a terrible conflict. All wars are. But this conflict specifically is affecting the world in terrible ways, especially because of the food and gas shortages. But there's another problem we didn't think of, the ISS. At the International Space Station, Russians and Americans live in close quarters. Remember Dmitry Rezanov from The Big Bang Theory? Yeah, like that. Well, the war brought US-Russia tensions to a level not seen since the Cold War. How are those folks coping up there? Well, it's awkward to say the least. That's why a few countries have been working on the Combined Space Operations Visions 2031. Their vision statement is a step towards better coordination and cooperation in space, so we don't lose sight of what's important, the progress of humanity. So yay, some good news after all. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. Bye!